Hey teachers, good morning. I hope you guys have a comfortable seat today, and I hope you have your cup of coffee like I do. And I hope that you got a good night's rest and you are ready and you're pumped up for today's lesson. I'm so excited to be here. And today's lesson is all about showing but not telling. And let's get your students to love writing again. I am so excited. I can feel the enthusiasm and the excitement. Hey, Janina, good morning. And I can tell you guys are pumped up. So I am so excited for today. I'm going to give you lots of great tips and tricks today. And I hope that you come away with something that you want to try in your classroom. As always. And so let's get this party started. So we're going to reflect on yesterday's training first, okay? Yesterday's training was all about creating and setting a goal, a writing goal for 2025, okay? So let's reflect, and I want to know, so comment in the comments below. Let us know, what did you learn that you are going to try that is something new in your classroom for the coming year, okay? So you can tell us you're going to try maybe some interactive notebooks. You're going to try more rigor and relevance in your lessons. You're going to try the I do, we do, you do, which is the gradual release of responsibility. You're going to try to have a publishing wall. You're going to try more turn and tell with your kids. You're going to try having your students rate their pieces with, great job or almost there or let's try again. And by the way, I uploaded some more resources for you yesterday. So you guys make sure to check out the file section. Okay. So let us know if you're just hopping on. Hi, Jelaine. So glad you're here. Let us know what you're going to try that's new from the training from yesterday, okay? So I was excited to hear all your questions. If I did not answer your question yesterday in my training, I made sure to put it in the Q&A at the end today. So I went back and looked at all the comments yesterday, and I put your question in today's training, okay? So don't forget about the workbook. Okay, in the file section, there's a workbook. If you are like me, you like to take notes. And because everything, a week from now, you're going to be like, now, what did Kara say about that? I mean, you're going to want to know some details, right? Hey, Alyssa, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. So Alyssa says, I really liked the rating pieces, and I'm going to try the interactive notebooks. Hey, that's great, Alyssa. That's awesome. Awesome. Great for you. And Janina says, I'm going to try interactive notebooks and have students rate their pieces. Yeah, that's awesome, Janina. Those are great things to try with your kiddos. And the more that you do it, the better they get. Okay, I promise. So it is well worth it. So don't forget about the workbook. If you have it, you're going to go to the page that says training number 2, and then you can take notes for today. Okay? Training number 2. So remember that our Writer's Workshop block is about 30 to 45 minutes long. Will you tell me in the comments, and I forgot to ask you this yesterday, I want to know how many minutes you guys have for writing. Okay, let me know in the comments how many minutes you have for writing. I would like to know, okay? Oh, Jelaine says, I like the rating pieces. Yay, that's great, Jelaine. Awesome. So remember that you have 10 to 15 minutes for a mini lesson. You have your mentor text. You have your interactive writing. You have your anchor charts for your mini lesson. This is the I do and the we do. That's about 10, 15 minutes long. And then you have your independent writing time, which is about 30 to 45 minutes long. And then you have your author's chair, which is 5 minutes long. Now, this isn't a perfect world, right? In a perfect world. And so you guys just let me know how many minutes you have for your writing block. Hey, Abby, so glad you're here. Okay, Jelaine says 30 minutes. Okay, that's good. Awesome. Let me know how many minutes you have for your writing time. And let me know if I can help you with your writing block. Okay, so I can if you have a question about that, you can always ask a question today, or anything that I'm teaching you, I can put your question in tomorrow's training also if I miss it today, okay? So Janina says, I think we have 25 minutes, but I don't think that is long enough. I think 30 to 45 minutes is better. It is, Janina, it is ideal. 30 to 45 minutes is better. But, it is what it is. So you're just going to have to try to adapt the best way that you can. And I'm going to share with you, Alyssa asked a really good question yesterday about opinion pieces, narrative pieces, and her question is at the end. So I'm going to cover some of that today, and that's a great segue into these minutes that you guys have. So Alyssa says 30 minutes. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so thank you for sharing those, and also thank you for sharing what you are going to try in your classroom from yesterday. I really enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. That's awesome. So our objective today is we can identify and write descriptive words for our character. So lesson number 2 is show but don't tell. Okay, our mentor text today is Say Something by Peter Reynolds. Okay, and here's what it looks like at a glance. So this is the book called Say Something. Yesterday we talked about the North Star. Today is Say Something. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit of a summary about this book if you don't know what it's about. Okay, so I chose this book, Say Something, to help with show but don't tell. The objective for this lesson is I can use descriptive words to show how the character is feeling. This book is excellent for showing different kinds of emotions and describing them in detail while using your voice. How do our feelings look like? How can one voice make a difference? You can say something in so many ways, with words, with actions, creativity. What can you use your voice to show but don't tell? So many times we're thinking about something, but we don't say it. And then we regret it later and wish we would have said something to make a difference. Use this writing activity to show what's in your heart. This story is great for teaching your students how to gain confidence in who they are and how to develop their characters that they want to include in their stories. You're going to teach them what a round and flat character means. A round character means we know a lot about them in the story. The author tells us a lot of information. And the flat character means we do not know a lot about them. We do not know a lot of information. So you're going to give them examples from other stories to see if they can decide if they're round or flat. So you can give them examples of characters such as Clifford or Pete the Cat. It's something that you've already taught them or read to them, and then you're going to ask, is this a round character or a flat character? So you're going to decide which characters you're going to use in your own story, and then you're going to decide if they're round or flat. So that's a really good visual, a really good mental image that they can give their character. So remember from yesterday, we have the I do, the we do, and the you do, the gradual release of responsibility. So I want you to think about what the I do means, what the we do means, and the you do means. And remember that you want to try to do the you do every single day. You want to try to do independent writing. You're applying and transferring the new skill to their own story. Okay? So think about what we talked about yesterday. You want to flip-flop the I do and the we do. You can do I do one day and the we do the second day. You don't have to do both of them the same day. Okay? But just make sure you do the you do every single day. Okay, so I'm going to read you explicit lesson plans that I wrote out. These are exactly what I would tell my students. And everything that I'm teaching you, like I said yesterday, I've already taught with my kids. They love Peter Reynolds' author study. It's perfect for these lessons. So you're going to ask your students, does a story need characters? Do they have feelings? Show your students the emotion cards. I'm going to show you what they look like in just a second. Cover the words at the top of the emotion card and ask your students to tell what emotion they are showing. Now, ask your students to say something that shows how they're feeling, but don't tell. So you're going to ask them to show how they're feeling. Don't say they're sad. Don't say they're happy. Don't say they're lonely. You're going to show how they're feeling. So you're going to read the sentence at the top of the card and see if your students were correct. You're going to read the story, say something, and then give your students a Post-it note. Okay, so that's the I do part. So these are the emotion cards that I was just telling you about. So you're going to cover the top sentence, okay? You're going to show these emotions, and you're going to ask your students to tell about how they're feeling, but don't tell. They're going to show, okay? So then you're going to uncover the sentence, and you're going to say the boy's eyebrows were squinted, or the girl had tears running down her face. The boy had a smile and his eyes were bright. The girl's mouth curled to one side. The boy giggled and showed his teeth. So you see what I'm saying? I'm showing the emotions, but I'm not really telling they're sad. I'm not telling they're happy. I'm not telling they're frustrated or nervous, okay? So those are the emotion cards you're going to get with the lesson plan. And I've already uploaded the lesson plan in the file section. So if you want to go ahead and download that, you can. And you can look at it while we talk about it. Okay, so that was the I do. The we do is you're going to turn and face your partner. You will take turns showing a different emotion. This is so fun. The kids are going to show an emotion: sad, happy, confused, angry, etc. Your partner will try and guess the emotion that you are showing. So you're going to do this for a minute. Then you're going to ask your students to try and say something about each emotion to each other without actually telling. Okay? You're going to ask to practice showing, not telling the emotion. Remember the emotion cards? You may want to set them out for your students to refer back to. Okay? So if you're doing this with kindergarten, you might want to just ask them to tell the emotion first and practice the emotion, and then you can practice showing the emotion, but not telling about it. So if you're doing second grade, first grade, second grade, they can actually tell. They can show the emotion by saying the boy's eyes were bright, or the girl's eyes were crying. So you can ask them to show but not tell. So kindergarten might need a little bit more scaffolding about this, because if you haven't taught characters or characterization yet, you might want to do that. So that's the we do, and remember, you can do that the second day. You don't have to do the I do and the we do the same day. Okay. So the you do is you're going to hand out the interactive notebook, show but don't tell. Tell your students that today they're going to say something in the speech bubble that shows the emotion without telling what it is. Or you can have your students illustrate the emotion and then write about it. This is differentiated in that you have different templates to give your students depending on their level of writing. Always have an example of a finished template to show your class what your expectations are. Again, you can use my example to show your class what your expectations are, or you can use your own. While they're working on their template, you're going to set the stage for the writer's workshop. You're going to put on some soft music. You can either sit at your teacher table and call the students up to you as they're finishing, or you can walk around and help. Pick the best one to show the class for a compliment, okay? And when I show the class, I always give them bonus bucks. I reward them with bonus bucks, and I make sure that I pick a different student every single day, okay? So if they have really, really good coloring, they have really good outlining, they have nice handwriting, and they're showing the example exactly what I want them to, and they're writing a complete sentence or whatever you want them to do, what your goal is, that's who you're going to show the class, and then you're going to give a compliment. We always applaud for that student also, and we say, good job, give them a compliment. So a reflection at the end, you're going to have your students sit on the carpet with their notebooks, and then call on 3 to 4 students to sit in the author's chair and share their templates. And again, you want to share what they did that was really, really good. So here again are the emotion cards that you can have on your pocket chart, or you could blow them up on a poster. That is up to you. Those are in the lesson plan. Okay. And then what you can do is you can make an anchor chart. Okay. So if you just want to work on one emotion at a time or 2 emotions at a time, that is perfectly fine. So in the resource, you have the word, and then you have the picture that goes with the word, okay? You can cover the word and then have the students try to guess what the emotion is. Have them tell about it or show about it, but don't tell what it is, okay? So for example, depressed. She said, I want to be alone. She spoke in soft tones while her lips quivered. She had a loss of energy, not wanting to eat. She moved slowly, shuffling her feet along the ground. The rainy day made her want to sleep and forget what happened. She went into her room and closed the door. So things that she's showing what she's doing and not telling, okay? Hey, Heather, so glad you're here. And then you could cover up excited and have the kids write about excited. So the boy twirled around while shouting, "This is the best day ever!" His eyes sparkled and he smiled from ear to ear. He said, "I can't wait for my surprise." The sun shone down and glistened on his face. He skipped along the road humming a jaunty tune. The boy giggled and showed a toothy grin. So depending on your class, okay, you can make this as easy or as challenging as you want, depending on your kids' level of writing, okay? You could have them either draw a picture on their Post-it note, or you could have them write a sentence, okay? So that's up to you, but those are just examples of what you could have them do. These are the interactive notebooks, okay? They're differentiated. So the red is the kindergarten, the green is the first grade, and the yellow is the second grade, okay? So your red one has the emotions in the speech bubble. It has sad, happy, mad, lonely. Now, your kindergartners are going to draw the face, okay? They're going to draw the face that matches the emotion, okay? The first grade one, they're going to write a sentence about the emotion. They're going to show but don't tell. Okay, show how they're feeling. The second grade is everything. So they're going to write the sentence. They're going to pick their own emotion. They're going to draw the face, and then they're going to write the sentence. Okay, so you can pick which one you think is the best one for your class. You might have some kids on red, some kids on green, some kids on yellow. I mean, it might be a variety of everybody, you know, in your class. Like I said yesterday, I might have some. For this one, I would probably have most of my class on the green and probably like 5% of them on the yellow for this one. Okay. I know they can write a sentence by now. They should be able to write a sentence. And so I'm going to have my kids do the green and the yellow part. But you do the best for you. Okay. So in the lesson plan, these are already differentiated. They are color coded. And so you pick the best one for you. Okay. These are some examples of the interactive notebook. So again, you want to have an example already shown or already finished, okay? So you can use my example if you want. That's perfectly fine. Or you can make your own interactive notebook with these templates and you can make it your own, okay? That's up to you. But you can put this on your document camera, on your smartboard, and say, hey, boys and girls, you see how I colored and shaded? You see how I wrote my complete sentences? And you're going to read the sentences in the speech bubble. Give them some examples, okay? You want to model what it's supposed to be like, okay? So there's two different ones here that you can show them. So if you need an example, there's for you, okay? So guys, if you have any questions about the lesson number 2, please ask. Okay, bonus number 2 that I'm going to give you today is my writing dictionary. This is a game changer, okay? So I know some teachers always struggle with your kids spelling correctly, not being able to write CVC words, not being able to write their letters and sounds. I get it, okay? I understand. So you are going to get this dictionary today, and you are welcome to use it if you want to, but I am a firm believer that you need to give your students a resource to be able to spell by themselves, okay? Now, in phonics, you're going to teach them your CVC words, your CVCE words, your blends, your digraphs, and all that stuff in phonics. But in writing, you're going to teach them how to be independent writers. You are giving them the resources that they need. You're giving them the success that they need for the next grade, okay? So in first grade, I am giving them their writing dictionary so they can look up words. The goal for them is to look up words by themselves, okay? To be independent writers and to learn how to find the letter that they need. Find the letter of the alphabet that they need. They need to know alphabetical order. That's one of our standards. So the dictionary really covers a lot of great skills for them. Okay. Hey, Valerie, I'm so glad you're here. So this writing dictionary has really saved my life. And the kids love it. They color the cover. They make it their own. So I always have a parent that comes in every Friday. And so one of her jobs at the beginning of the year is to put together my writing dictionaries for the whole class. And each kid gets one. It stays in their writing folder. And so you can see here that I have sight words. I have written sight words for every single letter. These sight words are mostly second and third grade. Okay, there's some kindergarten ones in here too. And then on the opposite side of the dictionary, you have blanks. See, like right here where my mouse is. So you have blanks where if the word is not in the dictionary, then they can raise their hand and you can call them up to your teacher table. And I teach them, this is very important, they have to find the correct page. Okay, so for example, if they want the word hippopotamus, they have to find the letter H in the dictionary. They open up to the page, they raise their hand, I call them over to the table, they say, I'm having trouble finding hippopotamus, would you please write it for me? I teach them how to say that. I teach them how to ask that. They can't just hand me the dictionary and it's closed and say hippopotamus. No, that's not the correct way to ask, okay? So again, you are having them ask in a complete sentence, okay? So they're practicing how to ask in a complete sentence. They're practicing how to find the letter in the dictionary. And this may seem hard for them, but actually it's really not. Because if you have your ABC wall in your class, up on your wall, which everybody should, or you have a sound wall, or you have a word wall, you have something in your class that shows the letters, they are independently able to find the letter in the alphabet, and they can find the page in their dictionary. Okay? So it's either in the beginning, or the middle, or the end. At the end of the dictionary, I have a page that has number words, animal words, holiday words, family words. So if they want the word Christmas or Halloween, they would learn how to use the page for the holiday words. Or if they want the word grandfather, they would find a page with the family words. Hope that makes sense, okay? So this dictionary is able to scaffold a lot of headache for you as a teacher, because especially your on-level and above-level kids, they're going to take off with this. They're going to use it all the time. They're going to be independent with it. And that is less that you have to do for yourself, because then you can spend more time with your low babies, because your low babies are going to need more scaffolding from you. And then you can write words in there that they need, and then they're going to have that word all year long in their dictionary to always refer back to. When they are writing any genre, they're writing any topic, any story, they have the words there for them. So this is a game changer. Okay, so you guys look out for this file today in the file section. Okay, hopefully you guys can use it. I hope that it will be a game changer for you as well. So today's tip is my author's chair tip. Okay, so like I said, in the mini lesson, or in the writer's workshop flow, the I do, we do, you do, at the very end is the reflection piece, okay? The reflection piece is usually the piece that gets left out because of time. And I totally get it. I totally get it. I've been there. So what you have to do is you need to you have to make your mini lesson either shorter, or make your writing time, independent writing time, shorter. Okay? Or what you can also do is just call on one kid or two students at a time to share. You don't have to do 3 or 4, but limit the time that they have in the author's chair to make it go faster. Okay? So anytime that you want to share, it's important to share every day. And especially you want to share whenever a student has published their story. Okay? So this student has completed his tiny moment story. And at the beginning of the year, we do personal narratives. And so I have the kids write a personal narrative, but the topic is their choice, okay? They can write any topic that they want to. I teach them what a tiny moment is. A tiny moment is a snapshot of their life. If you're familiar with Lucy Calkins, she has a unit all about small moments. And so I call them tiny moments. And so they're coloring a picture of a beginning, middle, and end. And then they are writing about it using 3 sentences. Okay. And so anytime that they have finished their story, they get to sit in the author's chair and they get to share. They get to read to the class. And we give them compliments and suggestions. So I am modeling, at the beginning of the year, I am modeling what a compliment is and a suggestion, okay? And so this is really good for rigor and relevance. So let me go back real quick to the author's chair. You also have to make sure that your class has very, very nice audience manners. You're going to share, you can tell them that they have to sit crisscross or whatever you want them to do. Put their story in their lap. They're not fidgeting with their story. They are listening with their eyes, their ears, their body. They're doing whole body listening, which we talk about at the very beginning of the year. They're not being disrespectful, because if they were in the author's chair, how would you want the class to act with you in the author's chair? Would you want them to talk? Would you want them to be silly? No. You want them to listen to you, okay? And you're teaching your kids, as they're listening to that child, they are thinking about a compliment, something nice that they're going to say about that story, or you are thinking about a suggestion, okay, that they can say when they're finished reading. So rigor and relevance tip is compliments. You're going to give them a sentence stem. I love how you... Okay, so they could say, I love how you illustrated your pictures. You used lots of details. Okay, I really like your sentences. I like how you use capitals and periods, and you have 5 or more words in your sentences. So those are some compliments that you could say for a sentence stem. And then a suggestion would be, maybe next time you can, or maybe you can work on, or have you ever thought about. So my kids right now, these are the things that they're saying. Maybe next time you can write a chapter book all about different animals. Maybe next time you can write a longer story. Maybe, have you ever thought about adding details in your pictures? Maybe a background, about shading and outlining. So I have modeled to them all of these things, and now they are thinking of their own compliments and suggestions. And if you do this quite a lot, it's really amazing the compliments and suggestions that they come up with. Kids are really creative. They are so creative and imaginative. They can come up with all kinds of things. And it's really cool to hear what they have to say. Okay, remember yesterday when we had the rating, either give them thumbs up, thumbs to the side, or thumbs down. You can even have your class give them a rating. Okay, all right, so show me a rating, class, if you think they did a great job. Thumbs up. Show me thumbs to the side if they're almost there, or thumbs down if they're not there yet. Okay, so you can have your class do a rating. And then you can have them, after that, then you can have them do compliments and suggestions. So it's really good for rigor and relevance, okay? So that's my author's chair tip for the day, my rigor and relevance tip for the day. And my behavior management tip for the day, you guys are going to love this. So I have what's called a farm contest. I have a farmhouse theme in my class, my farmhouse firsties. So I have divided my kids up into different groups. I have table groups. I have calico cats, red roosters, palomino ponies, gray goats, and pink pigs. So what I do is when we have workshop time going on, I have a farm contest. What that means is the kids are competing against each other to see who the quietest table is. So I have a star student every week. And then if I click Mr. Clicker attention getter. Remember my Mr. Clicker? Then I click the clicker. If somebody is talking, I click the clicker and then I say, uh-oh, Calico Cats have a point. So in my room, in my class, points are not good. The kids don't want any points on their animal, okay? At the end of the day, before we do pack and stack, which is my cleanup race, then I will look at the animals, and if they have a point on their animal, that whole table has to owe me bonus bucks. So whatever the amount, like right now, and when we get back in January, it's $5. Everything is worth $5. I've worked up, first it was $1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and now it's 5. So now they owe me $5. They can either give me 5 ones or they can give me a $5 bill, whatever they have. However, if they do not have a point on their animal, they get $5. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so I'm rewarding them for being the quietest table for the farm contest. And now my class is so good that, now I'm not bragging or anything, but I tell them the farm contest is on all day. At the very beginning of the year, we are practicing little chunks of time where they practice farm contest. They're practicing working quietly, and then I increase their stamina. So we start with maybe 2 minutes long, and then 3 minutes, and then 4 minutes, and I'm working up. So when we get back from January, they know that farm contest is on all day long. When they're at their seats and they're working during readers workshop, during writers workshop, during math workshop, anytime Miss Rickman is sitting at her table and I'm working with students, they know the farm contest is on. That means when they're at centers, after they're doing the seat work, they're doing their schema notebook, and they're doing their center time, it's still on all day long, okay? But we've worked up to that because in the beginning, it wasn't like that. It was just, we were just practicing small chunks of time. So if you want to try this, it is also a game changer. It helps your kids be accountable for each other. So whenever the kids are working and somebody is talking, they're doing this. They're showing the quiet symbol, okay? And I'm helping them be accountable for each other. And I tell them, if you're allowing somebody to talk at your table, you're also allowing them to get a point. You're not helping them. Now, if I notice that a child is trying to show the quiet symbol and they're trying really, really hard, I may have the rest of the table owe them money and not me money. Okay, and it also works that way too. Okay, so on Fridays, I have my kids go to the treasure box, and each Friday is a different amount for the treasure box. And so they use their money. The first week might be $10, second week might be $15, and then I raise the price each week. So when we get back in January, it might be $50. I don't know. I have to see how much money they have from December, but they are using their money for the treasure box, and if they don't have enough money for treasure box, they have to wait the following week. That they have to wait to earn more money to go to the treasure box. So, and I tell them this true story. This is a real life story. How many of you have ever been with your mom or dad in the car? You're driving down the highway. Your mom or dad is speeding, and then a policeman pulls them over. What do they get for speeding? Oh, they get a ticket. What do they have to do with the ticket? Well, they have to pay for it. Okay, so they have to pay a fine because they broke the law. Well, that's a real life situation. In my class, if you are breaking a rule in our social contract, you are also having to pay a fine. So that is teaching them, you break the law, you have to owe money. So too bad, so sad. The better that you do your job, the more money you get. Okay, so make sure that you're doing your job. You're following the rules. You're following the social contract. Okay, so you're helping each other. So if you have different themes in your class, I know some teachers have like a space theme. They have an ocean theme. I have a farmhouse theme. So you can divide your tables into different groups. You can make posters for your groups, put them on the wall, and then have your star student or have a special student that's in charge of going to the poster, putting a point with an expo marker. And then every day after school, or when you guys leave at the end of the day, that person goes over there and erases the points. So the next day you start fresh. Okay? So that's just what I do to help my kids stay accountable for being quiet while they're working. Okay. So we have some Q&As for today that you guys asked for yesterday. So Jelaine has a question. I have a third of my class that doesn't know letters and sounds, another third that cannot encode even CVC words. What can I do about them in the area of Writer's Workshop? So Jelaine, thank you for your question, and I'm sorry that I missed it yesterday. So this is what I have said for this, okay? So this is what my opinion is. So for those students, I would have them illustrate a beginning, middle, and end for their story. Remember, pictures can still tell a story, okay? And then I would have them dictate to you the sentence they want to write. You're going to draw the lines on their paper and then have them use their dictionary to help spell their words. Or you can write the sentence for them and then they can copy it. It will be very hard for them at first. And if you need every single word spelled, that is okay. You are scaffolding what they need. Okay, so Jelaine, here's some pictures that I can show you, some examples. So if you remember in the author's chair picture, the little boy was showing his story, his tiny moment story, the beginning, middle, and end. And if you are interested in my tiny moment unit, I can put it in the Facebook group for you guys to check out. And so this is called Tiny Moments. And again, a tiny moment is a snapshot of their life, because I know that in our standards, the kids have to do a personal narrative. So I do personal narrative at the very beginning of the year. They have a choice of what topic that they're going to illustrate. Of course, I model to them my tiny moment story. And so it's getting them to use more details, because a tiny moment story is a snapshot. It's not like days and days and days of a story. It's just a snapshot. It's like a tiny moment of their life. Okay? And so they can illustrate their picture, beginning, middle, and end, as you can see in the top right here. And then on their first draft, you can do this different ways. You can have them dictate to you what the sentence is, and you draw the lines, the spaces for their sentence, and then they can fill in the lines, fill in the words themselves. Or you can write the sentence for them, and then they copy. So for this particular student, right here at the bottom, I did it two different ways. First, I did the lines for him, and it was still too hard for him to write on the lines, and it was still too hard for him to find the words in the dictionary. So then I took a step back and I said, okay, you tell me the sentence, I'm going to write it, and then you're going to copy it. Okay? And then he did better. He did much better. So this was a first grader that I had last year in the fall, and he was one of my low babies, and he was really having trouble with just certain with even holding a pencil, and we worked on pencil grip, and we worked on letters and sounds with him. He needed a lot of scaffolding. So that's what I would do, and you can try those two different things. Make sure that they have their dictionary they can look in. You're going to circle the words that they need in their dictionary, and that will be a start that you can use with your students. Okay, so Jelaine, I hope that answers your question a little bit better and gives you some hope. Okay? Okay, so Alyssa is watching today, and Alyssa had a great question too. So she says, hi, our standards typically have our students write narratives, opinions, and informational pieces. Do you have your students explore these genres during Writer's Workshop? Do you have any recommendations for teaching these types of writing? I hope my question makes sense. Yes. Great, Alyssa. This is great. Okay. Yes, our standards have students write narratives, opinion, and informational pieces. There are two ways that you can do this, okay? Okay, so Heather says, I love the scaffolds for beginning, middle, and end. It makes them feel confident and successful. Great tips. Oh, good job. Good, Heather. Thank you. And Jelaine says, perfect. That's just what I need to know. Perfect. Okay, great, Jelaine. I hope that helps you a little bit. Okay, so Alyssa, I have 2 different ways that you can think about this. Number 1, you can choose the genre for your students to write about, but they still have choice of topic. Okay? For example, you could have your students write a persuasive piece, which is opinion writing, but your students are still choosing their own topic to write about. You can choose personal narrative, but they're choosing their own tiny moment to write about. Depending on the genre, it may work better during writer's workshop or during science or social studies. So you want to think about this. If you're giving them a prompt, which is perfectly fine, you don't want to do the prompt during writer's workshop. You want to do the prompt during science or social studies. Okay? So, number 2, you can also have your students write these genres during science or social studies. For example, you could have your students write an informational piece, but your students are choosing their own endangered animal to research for science. Or, for example, they're choosing their own American symbol to research during social studies. Okay, I've done this both ways with a lot of success. So if you're giving them a prompt, it's better to have them write during science or social studies for a prompt. But if you're having them choose their topic, it's better to have them doing it during writer's workshop, because then you could have them go through the writing process. So here's some examples. The top 2 examples are from science and social studies. So this first one with the heart at the top, it says, why should we save the earth? So this one was a persuasive piece. This was opinion. So I gave them some sentence starters, and so they're writing, why should we save the earth? I believe we can save the earth because, and so I gave them a sentence starter, and then they wrote the whole page about, this was during Earth Day last year. Okay, so they can do an opinion piece about why they should save the earth. I also do this during social studies time. In Texas, we one of our Texas symbols is the Alamo that we write about. So I gave them remember the Alamo prompt, and then they wrote facts about the Alamo. The Alamo lives in Texas. It's big and gray. Susanna Dickinson was one of the only survivors with her baby. The battle was in San Antonio. So blah blah blah. So that was different facts that they wrote about the Alamo. So typically when I do these prompts, I always give them academic vocabulary cards. Okay, so I have units in my TPT store. If you're interested, I have units that have vocabulary words that you can laminate, you can cut them out, you can put them on your pocket chart, or you can even write a list on your smartboard of words. Okay, so here's what I do. Excuse me. I tell them if they write a whole page, and guys, this is a game changer, you will get a $20 bill for bonus bucks. And they're like, oh my gosh, we get $20. Okay, this gives them such motivation to try to write a whole page. And then I tell them, for every vocabulary word that you use in your story, you get an extra $1. Oh my gosh. You better believe they are going to start writing, and they're going to go to town with this because they want that money. They want that money. So they get $20 for a whole page, or you could do $50 for a whole page. I mean, whatever you want. And then they get an extra $1 for each vocabulary word that they use. For each vocabulary word that they use, they can circle it in their story. So then I can count the words. Oh my gosh, guys, this is amazing. Okay. And so you can do this with anything, any topic. Okay. So if it's for a prompt for science or social studies, this is a game changer. Okay. Or you can give them tickets or whatever you have in your classroom for positive reinforcement. Okay. The bottom two stories are, I gave them a genre, but they had free choice of topics. So for example, this was during science time, all about monarch butterflies. I'm sorry, my voice is getting kind of dry. So during science in the spring, I give them a research project. We make a lap book all about a Texas animal. Okay, so in Texas we have the Texas large animal, or large mammal is the longhorn. The small mammal is the armadillo. The insect is the monarch butterfly, so on and so on. Okay, the bird is the mockingbird. So they get to choose their own Texas animal to research. And this goes perfectly with science, with our environments, with our life cycles and all that good stuff with science. And then for writing, they are doing informational and research. Okay, so it also, I kill two birds with one stone. And then they are making a lap book. So again, they have free choice of topic. Okay. Guys, I'm so sorry. They have free choice of topic, but the genre is the same. Okay. That's really awesome. Then over here, I have, they're writing a personal narrative. When I grow up, I want to be a. So this is one topic that I do during, I believe it's September when we do Good Citizen. They are writing about what they want to be when they grow up for Career Day. And they're choosing what they want to be when they grow up. The genre is the same. It's a personal narrative, but their choices are different, okay? So I also have a unit in my TPT store if you're interested about Career Day. I have all the different templates for policeman, veterinarian, doctor, dentist, teacher, scientist. They're all different, okay? They can choose which template they want. And again, I tell them if they write a whole page, they get $20. Okay. And then I have academic vocabulary on my pocket chart for good citizens. I have a good citizen word like voting, respect, responsibility, community, all those good vocabulary words. Okay. So I make sure to give them a vocabulary word bank for them to use if they're writing to a prompt, okay? That really, really helps them. And then rewarding them with an incentive, okay? And this helps them. You have a resource for them. I've also done it where I have vocabulary words on a template, and I staple those vocabulary words to their writing template so they have it at their desk. I've done it both ways. So whatever is good for you, you can type out a list of words, and then they can use that too, okay? All right, so let's see. Heather says, yes, I love the incentives to use for the vocabulary words. Awesome. Janina says, I love the idea of rewarding them for their writing. That is a great incentive. Yes, and don't be afraid to reward them. I mean, it's okay to reward them. That's awesome. We are doing our first school-wide career day in April. Oh, good, Heather. That's awesome. Okay, so if you guys have a question that you want to ask about today's training, then you can type it out in the comments, or you can post it in our Facebook group, whatever you want to do. And so far, I have these people in the raffle. And at the very, very end, on Friday, I'm going to be choosing somebody to win either an Amazon or TPT gift card or a Peter Reynolds book. Okay? So, Valerie, you're in the raffle. Jelaine is in the raffle. And Alyssa is in the raffle so far. Okay? So, I'm looking forward to that whenever I'm going to do the raffle. So thank you so much for watching today. And so tomorrow's lesson is all about choosing a problem and solution for their story. Also, don't forget to check the files section of our Facebook group today. Go all the way up to the very, very top, and then you're going to click on the files. Lesson number 2 is already in there for you for today. Okay. And then I will also put in the file section the dictionary you guys can download today. You guys let me know if you can also download the video the Facebook Lives that I'm giving you. Would you let me know if you can also download the videos? Because on my end, I can download them because I want you guys to have them forever. So let me know if you can download the videos. If not, then what I can do is I can put them on my YouTube channel for you guys to look at there also. Okay. So, remember this Facebook group is going to be open until January 18th. So you can have plenty of time to watch the videos again or to, download all of the resources. Okay. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Thank you so much. Remember that tomorrow's training is going to be at 2 o'clock because tonight is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year to you guys. Tomorrow's New Year's Day. I'm going to be with my family tomorrow during in the morning and the afternoon time. So our training tomorrow is going to be at 2 o'clock. So don't forget, okay? So hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow. So until next time, let's take your classroom to the next level. Love you guys. Bye.